Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up and August TBR. Why is it August already? So I didn't completely finish my July TBR, which I feel like it's okay because when I made my July TBR, I completely forgot about the BookTubers. So there was like an additional 6 books that I added to my TBR because of that, and I pretty much got through most of it, so which I'm really proud of. I read like 11 and a half books this month, which is pretty good. So I'm just going to go through and really quickly just kind of say what I read, my rating, and usual wrap-up type stuff. So the first book that I read this month is Fallen Angel by David Moore, and I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It's about this girl who has to move to this new town after the death of her parents and move in with her aunt and her uncle and go to this new school. Like, she's from New York City, she has to move to like a little small, rural town, and she hates it, obviously, and she falls in love with this demon boy. This book that I read this month is another book that I gave 5 out of 5 stars to, which is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and this was a reread for me, even though I didn't remember pretty much anything that happened. I read this in 5th grade, but I really like this. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I think Sea of Monsters is going to be great, and I finished The One by Kiera Cass. That was actually the first book that I read this month, and I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. I was really iffy on it as I went, but by the end I was totally in love with how it ended, so definitely would love for you guys to read that. Let me know what you think. The next thing that happened in my July reading is the BookTubers, and during the BookTubers I read 7 books in 7 days. It was kind of difficult, but I did it. And the first book that I read was Love Does by Bob Goff, and that's a religious type book, and it just gives insight into your life and how we're supposed to live as Christians. And it was a very interesting, not condescending. It was very inspirational. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Would totally recommend it to you. The next book that I read is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I also enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars just because there's some stuff that bothered me about it, but it's about this girl who goes on this, vacation with the same family, with her mom's best friend's family, and she's kind of got a crush on one of her mom's friend's sons, and it's just about her summer as the first summer that she's quote-unquote pretty. The next book that I read was House at the End of the Street, which is a book based off of a screenplay, and it was okay. It was pretty, it was pretty good, the storyline, but it was just for me. I don't really have a really good reason why. It was just so I gave that 3 out of 5 stars, and I tried to watch the movie, and I honestly couldn't get through the movie. It was just, I didn't care for the movie, so I just didn't finish it. The next thing that I read is Party Games by R.L. Stine, and that's about this girl that gets invited to a party by a guy that she's had a crush on, but she doesn't know that well, and it's on this secluded island. And if you know anything about R.L. Stine's Fear Street series, the Fear family is bad news, and the guy whose birthday party is a Fear, and just chaos ensues. The next book that I read for the BookTubers is Funhouse by Diane Ho, and it was very good. It's about this roller coaster that goes off the tracks and kills a kid, amputates this kid's leg, and this little girl was completely messed up, and the main character thinks she saw somebody tampering with the roller coaster, but nobody believes her, and then other stuff starts happening to this group of friends, and she's trying to figure out what's going on, because nobody will believe her that it's not an accident. The next book that I read for the BookTubers is Hatchet by Gary Paulson, and this was another reread for me. I read this in 4th or 5th grade, and it was It was very good. It was a little bit slower than I remember, but it still was overall a very good story. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I would totally recommend it. It's about this boy who is traveling to like rural Canada to visit his father after his parents' divorce, and the pilot suffers a heart attack and the plane goes down and he has to learn how to survive in the wilderness on his own. Next book that I read is Fall into Darkness by Christopher Pike, and it's about this girl who is on trial for her best friend's murder, but she like is adamant. She's like, I didn't murder my best friend. She's like, I swear she jumped off this cliff. I didn't push her. She's like, I don't know why she would do it, but I didn't. And it's kind of about that, and it's very interesting because it goes from the flashbacks to present day during the trial, and it's very interesting. Kind of keeps you on your toes as well. The last full book that I read in July was Down with the Shine by Katie Carius Quinn, I think. I'm sorry if I didn't say that right. And that book was amazing. It's about this girl who is trying to be popular, and she takes her family's moonshine to this party, and there's like this tradition with the moonshine that before you give it to somebody, you have them make a wish, and you make that wish with them, like the person in the family. And she like gives out all this moonshine to all these people at this party, and everybody makes wishes, and then the next morning all the wishes have come true, and it's really crazy. A little bit of a love story entangled in there, and it's very deep, and I don't know if it's deep, but it's very intriguing and kind of dark, and I would totally recommend it. I'm probably going to do a full review of this, and if there's any of these that I did a full review on, I'll leave those links down below. Okay, that's all the books that I actually finished this month. I started Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I have not finished it yet. I'm about halfway through, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's kind of slow beginning, you know. I'm on like page like 150, and it's just started to get like really interesting, so we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm going to be moving on to my August TBR, and for August I have it's a bunch of series that I'm trying to read, and I'm also going to be starting something new that you'll see in a second. But a series that I'm going to be trying to read is the Burn for Burn trilogy by Jenny Han. I'm actually going to be reading this with Erica from Maniacal Reader, and I'll link her channel below if you want to check that out. We're going to, read the books separately and then come back and discuss them and talk about them and so on. And I'm kind of excited. I've never done this before, done anything like that before, so that would be fun. I'm planning on reading Burn for Burn and Fire with Fire for Fire, Fire with Fire, whatever. I don't have the third book in the series, but I'll get it if I feel so inclined to, if the series is good. Another book that I want to read is Sea of Monsters, the second book in the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, and I'm really excited to start this book. I think it's going to be very good. My friend said it's very good, so we'll see. I'm going to be doing something a little bit new because I don't have any other books that are like pressing, that I really, really want to read. So I got this idea from Punk Girl PA. I'll link her channel down below. And I've taken all the books that I want to read that I own that I have not read yet. There's a lot of them because I have a problem. And I put them in this jar, and it's called my To Be Read jar. And I'm going to shake this up and pick out some books, and those are going to be the ones that are on my TBR. And I think this will kind of help me get some books read that aren't ones that I would normally pick that I have, or ones that I've forgotten that I have, just to kind of help me get everything going. I don't know what I'm saying. Alright, so the first book I'm going to be picking is A Walk in the Woods by Anna Gilbert. So I'm going to pick 3 books, I think. It's going to leave me with 6. I think that'll be okay. I don't want to be too ambitious because school starts and I gotta apply for college. Okay. And then The Immortal by Christopher Pike. That's going to be a reread for me. Excited. I loved that book the first time I read it. So. And Teacher's Pet by Richie Dankerson-Cusick. I'm really excited. I like all of these authors. I'm really excited. Those probably aren't ones that I would have picked on my own. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna try this, and if I like that, cool. If not, well, I wasted a lot of sticky notes. Forgot. I figured this would be a given, kind of. I went to a Harry Potter and the Cursed Child release party, and it was amazing. So I have my copy, and I'm going to be reading this as soon as I finish. I usually can't read like 2 books at one time, but I'm going to have to make an exception. Miss Peregrine's is being put on hold so I can read the screenplay, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So I'm excited. I'm going to be making a spoiler-free review after I finish that, so I'm ready. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Until the next video. Bye, guys.